Hello and welcome to another Scarlet and Violet Underused Tournament replay analysis. I'm your host Carter. Today we'll be covering the winner's bracket of the Drewvitational. It is round 6. I'm playing against Exposo. Exposo is a veteran player. He was also drafted. He was the first player nominated in the auction draft for Underused Premier League. A team tournament that I also got drafted into. I might cover that sometime down the line, but at the time of recording this, week 1 hasn't started yet for that, so you know, for me it's a nice potential preview onto what one of my future opponents could be bringing. Who knows? But let's just hop right into this set. Just for context, whoever wins this set is going to move into top 8 on winner's bracket. But anyway, so here I decided to bring a Noivern plus Magnezone cord. This was an idea that I've liked before, and I did use it back in kickoff tour. I lost once, I won once with it, so you know. But I wanted to try it again. And I also brought Heracross back, which is like a decent Pokemon, decent breaker, but it can be hard to get into the game, but when you get it in, it can do work. I also have Slowking and Talonflame also supporting as pivots, so you know I have 3 pivoters in Choice Specs Noivern. I also have a Volt Turner in Magnezone, so like basically 4 pivot Pokemon. And I also have a Paldean, which can set rocks, all that good stuff. On Exposo's side, he has Gyarados, very likely to be Dragon Dance. It could be Intimidate, it could be Moxie. I do not know. Donphan, most likely a Spinner, potentially even Rocker. Screamtails, most likely Wish Protect with Encore, you know, just a good utility mon. He also has Magnezone, which I'm not sure what set it could be. It could be Body Press, it could be like Choice Specs, who knows. But it's most likely not Scarfer, because his most likely Scarfer is probably Rotom-Mow, which also has Trick, another Volt Turner, and Tyranitar. Not sure what the Tyranitar set is, to be honest, but let's just go right into this. Turn 1 here. My Noivern, I reveal it to have Frisk, and I'm able to find out that it's a Choice Scarf like I anticipated. And I U-turn here safely. I actually was hoping that the Rotom-Mow was going to try and protect my Paldean, but that was asking too much. It protects here. I think Exposo goes into his own Magnezone, assuming that I'm Choice Specs, but I immediately reveal Body Press. And his Magnezone is actually Choice Specs, because Choice Specs Thunderbolt does about 50% of Magnezone, since its special defense is not that great. Here we have an awkward 1v1 where I'm able to just barely win, but the problem is I'm so low. I was actually hoping he got greedy with his Gyarados DD, but in no world would he ever do that. Here, I kind of make a misplay. I blow my Terra too early, go into Boom Burst when I could click buttons, but alas, that's not the case. He goes into his Donphan, and he anticipates, he makes a nice double. We both exchange rocks, but I'm trying to wear his Donphan down with Earthquakes, but I don't have any attack investment, so that does nothing. Unfortunately, I don't have a spin blocker, which means I'm gonna have a hard time getting rocks down and keeping them up. Brings a Gyarados, reads my Stealth Rock attempt. Honestly, I think, yeah, I reveal Stone Edge, but honestly, I think what I should have done there was I should have Stone Edged a turn earlier. Unfortunately, Terra Grass is here, which means things are getting real bad. I missed the Stone Edge, didn't really matter, because I was screwed anyways. I go into Talonflame, trying to get a Flame Body, 30% chance, not happening. I get Terra Blasted. I can't really do anything at this point, and it's just game over. So Exposo wins game 1 pretty convincingly. I didn't play too well. The matchup was difficult, but I definitely misplayed The second time I brought Noivern out, I should have just U-turn out again and then bring Heracross in the game, and then I think it could be a different story altogether. But with that being said, let's just go right into game 2. Alright, and we have game 2 here. Exposo has a hyper-offensive kind of team, because, you know, he has Haxorus, he has Poltegeist, and Quiver Dance or Oricorio. All very potent sweepers that really benefits from screens, especially considering Screen Tails can learn screens with like Reflect and Light Screen, you know. And Tyranitar, it could be like another Dragon Dancer too. Like, this could be all hyper offense. He also has Farigiraf, which can block priority with Armor Tail. Who knows what that can do, but on my side, I brought a Tinkaton, which is my rocker. I have Paldean Tauros-Blaze, or Tauros Fire. I'm just gonna call it Tauros Fire, just for simplicity's sake. Which has Raging Bull, which is actually really useful if it is in fact screens, because Raging Bull is the Paldean, or like the Tauros family's signature move, a base 90 power move where its typing depends on the Tauros form. So for example, Tauros Fire's Raging Bull would be Fire type. But yeah, just being able to break up screens is very useful. Intimidate is also very helpful, especially going to the Haxorus and Tyranitar, and also being able to spread burns. You know, just either negating recovery or wearing them down slowly. Yeah, 6% isn't much, but it adds up over the course of a game. And it also lets me like do a check on whether they have lefties or not. Salamence here, you know, it can intimidate as well, but it can also do Dragon Dance shenanigans, and it's kind of a forgotten Dragon Dancer that can be a real threat to any team. Like, yeah, everybody talks about how great Haxorus is as a Dragon Dancer, but, you know, Salamence isn't too bad either. A little harder to use, and not as powerful off the bat, but, you know, you can never count it out. Wo-Chan, again, just a really nice defensive backbone, cover physical wall. Here, you know, forms a nice defensive core with Tinkaton and Tauros-Blaze, or Tauros Fire, and then Slitherwing, you know, does the usual first impression, another pivot. And we also have Grafaiai, which can do encore stuff, which can be very important, especially against Oricorio. And, you know, even something like Haxorus, it also helps that he doesn't have Psychic Terrain, but he does have Farigiraf, which could come in and just be really annoying, you know. And Tyranitar can also block Parting Shot, so that's a potential option. But, you know, for me, this looks like a nice matchup that could work out for me real nicely going into game 2. Let's just get right into this. Here I lead off Tinkaton, he leads off Screen Tails, you know, expected. He reveals to be screens, and I know that there's a chance he could encore, so I immediately go into Tauros. I don't waste any time. He throws out his Stealth Rocks, so there's a very likely chance that it has no attacking moves. I get free Wisp here, wear down the Oricorio slowly, and I go into Grafaiai here because Expulso also knows that I could encore, and I just don't waste any time. I Parting Shot, go into Tinkaton, he Quiver Dances up, and he's at +0 for special attack, and my Tinkaton has actual special defense investment, so I encore it knowing that I could safely 1v1 this thing over the course of the game, and that I won't be able to roost up. Here I Gaetan Hammer, and then I reveal something rather niche, Play Rough. Just nice chip all around. Oricorio Rev Dances again, and I Play Rough here. I don't Gaetan Hammer because I don't want to give Screen Tails a free turn to get screens up. The Haxorus EQs, which is perfectly fine for me because I have another Encore Pokemon. Here the Haxorus dips out, goes into Screamtails. I Dragon Dance with Salamence, and then I instantly reveal to be Ironhead, which is very, very common. And I don't give it a chance to set screens up. I use Dual Wing Beat here, and from this point on, Salamence is able to just clean house for the most part. Dual Wing Beat's disabled thanks to Curse Body, but it doesn't matter. The Farigiraf tries to agility, but it's so slow, it's like 240 speed, that I can just EQ it safely. At this point, the game's over. Like, Expulso can't do anything about this. I got the matchup I wanted. Tauros Fire definitely changed the dynamic of this matchup, turned it completely around, and also the fact that Rafai and Tenkaton also took care of business really went a long way. And Salamence was just able to get a clean Dragon Dance sweep, and the game was over in 17 turns, so you know, I played a very solid game, had a solid game plan, followed through with it, did what I had to do. Expulsive didn't do much about it, and I'm able to force a game free. And speaking of game free, let's just go right into that. Alright, and we have game free here. I decided to go back to the Lycanroc Hyper Offense team that I brought, you know, from last video that I used against Floss. Here Expulso brought his game 1 team again, and thanks to Frisk Noivern, I was able to get a decent amount of information about the type of sets that he was running on some of his Pokemon, namely the Rotom Bow, the Gyarados, all that jazz. And even like the Magnezone, I was able to figure out the set that it was a choice spec set. So like no Scarf stuff, none of that. On my end, you know, Sandy Shock, Sash, Boots, Slitherwing, Scarf Raptor, like, you know, the usual folks. But the important key here for me in this matchup is that I'm gonna need to find a way to break through the Screamtails if I want a shot at winning this. Mimikyu could potentially do that, but I also have to be very careful about getting Encored. But if I can break through Screamtails and also wear the Donphan down over the course of the game, then, like, you know, Lycanroc and Staraptor look to be in prime position to put in a lot of work against this team. Let's just hop right into this. Here I lead off Staraptor, I lead off Rotom-Mow. I U-turn here. I go into Slitherwing, like just trying to make sure that he doesn't... I was afraid he was gonna Leaf Storm, but he doesn't again, he just Volt Switches. He wishes up with Screamtails. And I Stealth Rock, he Dazzling Gleams me, which is like whatever, no biggie. He goes hard Donphan here, probably anticipating a Thunderbolt, which he gets correct. I think I was gonna try Parafishing, but which I don't blame him for making that read, but he gets Rocks out safely. A U-turn. I went into Sandy Shocks again because I was thinking that, oh man, he's not gonna try and like spin, knowing that I had Mimikyu, but I was able to Terra Blast here, get a decent amount of damage. I was actually surprised the Donphan survived that. So this must have been like Spadef invested. So he definitely came prepared for this kind of team, but he lets his Donphan die to first impression, which is fine for him. Dazzling Gleams does decent damage on my Slitherwing. I go U-turn. I go into Mimikyu here. I go into Jugulis because I was afraid of an Encore attempt in case I did SD. I wasn't sure if he was going to attempt to do that. Here, I'm just trying to fish for a Confuse or even a Flinch Hacks, you know. Because like Jugulis isn't doing a whole lot this matchup anyways. He wishes here, I go hard Mimikyu again, knowing that he has to protect. And here I decide that, okay, Expulso is not gonna Encore me. It actually reveals to be faster than me. So I SD up, I don't waste any time. And he Terra Steals here, trying to not take too much damage from that, but here, to be honest, I'm not really sure about that Terra because, like, take a look at what I have, folks. Lycanroc Dusk, which normally runs close combat because, you know, close combat, a very good coverage move for Lycanroc Dust, not to mention it's boosted by Tough Claws, so it actually does more damage than Stone Edge, despite Stone Edge having stab bonus. Staraptor commonly runs close combat as part of its coverage. You also have Slitherwing. Like, yeah, that's 3 Pokemon I have with fighting moves, and here's the thing, like, if he like Terra Steel on Screamtails, that's just not a great idea. Because I think if he had even gone pure Fairy Terra, he would have been fine, in my honest opinion. Because it would have done the exact same thing he wanted, so I think this was like kind of a throw, not in game. I get why he went for Terra, but this was not the Terra type to go for, especially in a team composition like this. And like, yeah, I know Lycanroc Dusk is only RUBL, but still, it's a Pokemon you have to respect in the builder. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, enough ranting, but this sequence here, I'm just letting Mimikyu die effectively. Or just try to play out the Encore turns, and then, you know, I put in range, and just based on calcing, I know that it's not much Phys-Def investment. He also had Tyranitar. I SD up again, anticipating this. And he was afraid of Drain Punch, from what I can tell, but I didn't reveal that because I actually didn't have that this time. But I missed the Play Rough, which is whatever, and Stone Edge lands, Gyarados goes down. If that Play Rough landed, then I wouldn't need to rely on that, but Tyranitar comes in, unlikely to be Choice Scarf. Rotom-Mow is in Excel Rock range, and at this point the game is basically over because like he just can't do anything about the close combat. He has no fight resist. Unfortunately, Exposa loses the game, and I'm able to win out due to a questionable Terra choice that Exposa brought in Builder in the form of Terra Steel. And honestly, if he even had just Terra Fairy, I think this would have been a much more difficult matchup for me to actually play, because Lycanroc would be on timer and Staraptor would have just worn itself down over time. The Brave Bird recoil and stuff, like I was on a timer, but you know, regardless, good games to Exposo. I'm sure he'll probably tear up Loser's Bracket, he's a good player. And probably be playing my UU Masters match fairly soon, later this week. Probably on the weekend, but I don't know when this is going to be uploaded. But regardless, I will see you guys next time.